have control. I have control. I have control.
Execute. Camera setup, or at least our emergency camera setup, is currently working.
Yes.
A little bit of, as usual, here on the Berm Limits podcast, some technical difficulties.
If you can't roll with it, then do you even belong doing it?
Yeah. Who is it? Is it Bill O'Reilly? Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We're doing it live?
Yeah,
yes.
There's not a lot of that here.
There's not a lot of that here.
Preconceived.
There is a lot of preconceived.
Contriving.
Yes. My co-host doesn't do fuck it doing it live very well.
I'm trying, man.
I know you are.
I'm trying.
You're getting better.
Yeah. But welcome, everybody,
to the Berm Limits podcast,
brought to you by Bulletn.net,
where you can get all of your training and find all your trainers. That's
true. It's free. You should go check it out. Although most of the people, I think, listening to this probably know that by now.
If you don't, we know who you are. We'll find you.
We will. We will find you.
And we'll throw a t-shirt
and we will kill
on you.
We have a very particular set of skills.
We're going to use plastic utensils.
Do you ever see... I got to watch Taken again.
Taken is one of those movies that it does not stop from beginning to end.
I love that. Like that whole, like, that I have a very particular set of skills. I will hunt you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
And I love the martial combat in it because it's just brutal.
It's
effective.
so real. Like, it's so good.
Yep.
Speaking of real and so good, before we get too far into this thing, there's somebody we should mention. Our sponsor.
Turtle Castell, Mr. Iron Pig Armament.
Iron Pig Armament. Makers of this.
You may not notice, but subtly in the background, we have the rifle that has come to us through Tremis Dynamics, who had it first for testing and evaluation.
Well, he had it first, but we're gonna put some miles onto it. I've already taken it through a few classes.
Yes,
this is the Iron Pig Armament. I believe it is the Gladiator. I probably should have looked that up beforehand.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's called the Gladiator model. It's his AR-15. It's awesome. It has run really well.
It ran through a class where a lot of other rifles did not continue to run. But to be fair, I mean, it was raining. I mean, you can't expect a rifle to run in the rain.
Well, no. How could it?
Right.
Yeah, it's too much wet.
And we mentioned it before. Like, Turtle is awesome. He is a great dude. He makes great stuff. He's just a good dude. He
really is. Love that guy. You all should check out ironpigarmament.com. You should buy a rifle from him. I am 100% convinced. Like, he convinced me with being a really good dude. And now he's handed me a really great rifle, or all of us to kind of beat to shit, and it just keeps running like a Swiss sewing machine.
Yeah.
Do the Swiss make sewing machines? No.
But they make watches.
Like a Bavarian
sewing
organ.
Machine. Yeah, there you
go. Something that runs really well. It runs and runs. It
runs like a deer.
Yeah. Like a deer?
Like a deer. The John Deere commercial. It runs like a deer.
John Deere. I thought you meant like a white-tailed deer.
Oh, they run too.
Yeah. Until they don't anymore.
And then they're in your freezer. But anyway.
Hopefully this year I'll
check out Iron Pig Armament.
Yes, ironpigarmament.com. Yeah, so we have some exciting things this week. But I guess before we get into the details, we should give them the rundown.
Yes.
The Bulletn Points.
It's your favorite part. You know it is. You wait to see if he can get through it in one run. And here we go.
Here we go, everybody. For November 8th, 2024, these are your Bulletn Points. America has decided there will be a new president who looks suspiciously like an old president. An epic tale from the Middle Earth. From Middle Earth. Oh, I screwed it up.
Don't stop.
An epic tale from Middle Earth of why it's important for you to not give up your rights to bear arms against the armies of Sauron himself. And a training tip on battery management and storage. These topics, a discussion of our plans at SHOT Show 2025, and an update on events in the Bulletin Network of Trainers tonight on the Berm Limits podcast. I don't feel good about that one.
He fell apart on my story. It's why, because it was mine.
Yeah, and I got too creative with the armies of Middle Earth.
You did a little bit. It's okay, though. They appreciate the effort.
There's a story about New Zealand, folks.
In case you didn't get the clues.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yep.
First of which...
Most importantly, it's almost like it's kind of the driving force behind
the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Training.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, we should talk about training. Speaking of which, before I forget to mention, I got this sweet new shirt tonight. I paid for it with my own money, so it wasn't a gift, but I bought it because I'm a supporter of one of the trainers in the Bulletin Network.
Yes,
that is Radio Made Easy. Has this sweet Smokey the Bear shirt. So
it is pretty cool.
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have some really cool training opportunities coming this year that we should let everyone know about. No, not we, but the trainers that are in Bulletin or are listing on Bulletin have some awesome stuff coming up. So we're first going to talk about some shit coming up in 2025, like things that you should know about now that you should budget time and money for, because there are opportunities you don't want to miss, like big things, like make it happen. First up, we have our friends over at 8 Bear Adventures.
Yep.
Bob over in Somerset, Ohio.
Are on fire.
Bob makes shit happen. Mm-hmm. He somehow makes like the coolest classes come to, like he just wills them into existence. March 28th is the Live Tissue Live Fire Lab. Max and I took this last year.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's a game-changing medical class. You should absolutely take it. It will change your views on medical training and just bring it into the real world for you.
Yep.
That's March 28th. May 24th, 2025 is a really cool class coming to our neck of the woods over in Pennsylvania.
I am so looking forward to this.
Wolverine Warfare. Named after Red Dawn.
Yes.
This is a collab class between Tremis Dynamics and Praelectus Training.
Did you hear who volunteered to be Op 4?
I believe Combat Art Training is also going to be there. Iron Forge Consulting is also going to be there. I'm probably forgetting other names that are really important that are going to be there.
I mean, there's no way Zach's not going to be there.
I don't think so. But it's one of those classes where there's going to be a whole ton of awesome people there teaching really interesting stuff. I'll probably be doing a block of instruction on. It hasn't been decided yet, but it might be something radio related, maybe some SIGINT stuff. But it's going to be a weekend of blocks of instruction with some. I mean, the whole thing is going to be scenario based for the whole weekend, so it's going to be awesome. You're going to be there too, right?
Oh yeah.
So Max is going to be there.
And to keep an eye out for study groups that are leading up to it. That kind of will lay some of the groundwork. That'll get some of the work done for you before the class.
Yep.
There are a bunch of study groups that are on the Tremis page. Make sure you're paying attention to that.
Oh, and then right afterwards, there's also a Praelectus Training class that will be held on battle drills. So it's going to be a crazy weekend or week of classes. It's awesome. So we got the Wolverine Warfare happening in May 24th, and then Jay Gibson, Praelectus Training, is then doing more stuff collab with our friends at 8 Bear Adventures over in Somerset, Ohio. Yes. And this summer in June 7th, there is a really cool class that is happening called At-Risk Citizen. From the description, it's three things. It's small unit tactics, vehicle work, and some CQB.
Nice.
It's all the cool shit. I think it's a compliment to Jay's super popular FAFO class.
Oh my God, FAFO! I don't think you can get more bang for the buck.
No, you can't.
In that class.
It's so. I just got to go hang out at a FAFO class in Western Pennsylvania 2 weekends ago. It's always great seeing Jay, and his host out there is amazing. they're really great people, and they're hosting some really great training out there too, which you can stay tuned to Bulletin on. But yeah, so those are some cool, like some really big things happening in 2025 that you should all start marking on your calendars now.
Yeah, and I mean, like for like the live tissue lab, like it is expensive. But what you're getting for the money, you can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah, and you got time. You got now until March to work it out, and I'm sure Bob can. Yeah,
all the information. All the information's on Bulletin.
Yep. All right, so those are the big ones. Yep. Now, for the rest of this year, November and December, there are some other cool shit happening. I just want to give everyone a quick rundown of some of the highlights. Like there are 52 classes listed on Bulletin between now and the end of the year.
Okay. That's insane.
It's a lot. And more being added every day. But
just the idea that in 3 months time, less than 3 months.
Yeah, there's like every weekend has classes on it. There's options all the way from up here in Pennsylvania. I think that's nope. Sorry. There are classes being held by on-site training, I think up in New York, maybe even Massachusetts, I think. All the way down to there's classes in Kentucky and Florida. And we also have classes out in Las Vegas. So like we're spanning almost the entire country.
Nice.
Like, it's pretty awesome to see that there's things happening. You should tell trainers though about it, that so that we can tell everyone that there's classes near them. So, we're growing, always looking for more trainers to add onto the network. It's free.
Yeah,
make sure you tell everyone
reach
it's
out,
free.
Mike at bulletin.net.
Yep.
Send him in your credentials. He'll do his thing.
You can just sign up on the website.
Right.
Yeah. Just go to bulletin.net and you sign up.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So within the network, within those 52 classes, I picked out a few things that I'm like, oh, those sound awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So combat art training, our friend Andrew.
Yep.
Usually down in Florida.
Yep.
Has a bunch of classes. He has more classes down in Florida. However, I really wanted to point out that there's 3 classes happening up here that you need to know about. First up, December 7th, Pistol Skills 1.
Great class.
December 8th, Red Dot Pistol, both being held in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. In between those 2 classes, the night of the 7th, there is a Tremis Dynamics low light workshop, I believe. So you can have a whole weekend worth of trainings and learn some awesome stuff from multiple trainers. That is the theme that is happening throughout the training industry right now is collaborations. Like it's great to see.
It is the healthiest thing to hit the training community in a very long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love seeing trainers working together, sharing ideas, sharing resources, and sharing their student bodies with each other.
Yep.
That sounded naughty.
It did.
Sharing their student bodies. So yeah, check out the combat art training classes up here in Pennsylvania and anything down there in Florida as well. And he also teaches in other Kentucky. He's got other. Yeah.
He's going to be in that. Oh, what the hell is the location? What's it called? Damn it. The one in Kentucky.
Oh, Taprack Ridge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's going to be at Taprack Ridge coming up. He announced those classes. I don't know if you put them up on Bulletin or not, but I know he announced them.
Yep.
Today. I saw it on Facebook. So
yeah, these trainers are always putting out classes. November 15th, Shivworks is. I'm still kind of blown away that they joined Bulletin. Like they just have such like an awesome program, and I'm so excited to tell people about them. ECQC being held in Doswell, Virginia. You should check that out. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get into their classes. They fill up pretty quick, but if you have the opportunity, you need to take it. That one or whichever one you can get your ass into. A trainer that we don't talk about much that I'm a fan. He's a friend of mine. He helped us with the Hydrate or Die shirts. His name's Clay Howell. He's at Patriot Training down in Tennessee. Everyone calls him Bunny. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but Bunny Howell is he runs Patriot Training down there. And in November 16th and December 7th, he's got a few classes. He's running classes all the time. November 16th is Urban Rifleman.
Nice.
And that's in McMinnville, Tennessee. And then December 7th, he's got Essential Pistol. So he runs all the different, like he's got some He's got some rifle classes, some pistol classes, and he has a patrolling class that I'm really like. I want to take that one. So you should definitely check out Patriot Training. Our friends Ben over at Onsite. I got to train with him this year. Met him a few times. I really like Ben. He does this really cool stuff where he kind of goes on the road with certain trainers at a time. Again, more collaboration. So he's got classes with Press Check Consulting. That's Chuck Pressberg. And they kind of did a tour, and he's got a couple of dates coming up. November 16th in Yale, Virginia, and November 19th in Midway, Georgia. That may have been a typo. Midway, Georgia. So he's got a few more classes with Press Check Consulting coming through, and he's holding classes all around the country.
He is prolific.
Prolific, yes. And then, of course, our friends at Tremis Dynamics.
They train?
They train.
They teach classes?
All over the country. They're so Gary's right now down in Texas, Paducah, Texas, teaching a bunch of rifle classes and some force-on-force stuff, I believe. It's great. Like he travels all around, and we've got the very popular fish series coming up in the next month too. So November 16th is Fish 2. That's in Scranton, and on December 14th is Fish 3. Which is
night fishing.
And if for those who don't know, fish is fighting in someone's house. Could be your house, could be someone else's house. It's the answer to CQB, really built from a civilian perspective.
It's force on paper, right?
Some of it's force on paper, some of it's force on force.
Gotcha.
So
it's definitely a class I want to take.
Actually, a lot of it is laser on paper. A lot of it's built around learning the skills with Blackbeards. So it's a low round count. There's not a lot of extra cost. It's the cost of the class itself. So
nice.
There has been a lot of positive feedback on the fish classes.
Everyone that I've heard that has taken it has said nothing but good things.
Yeah, you should definitely take. Like they are really good. Like I'm a fan.
Yeah. That's one of those classes that is 100% on the mind to take.
Yeah, you need to take them.
I want to take the force on force class. Why am I never? I always want to say Adeptus pistol. Is that it?
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Well, there's Adeptus pistol, and there is
the hell's the other one called?
God damn it! Why you got to quiz me? Why can't you give me?
I'm horrible.
I don't remember.
Anyway, I really want to take his force on force class, the role play, the scenario based one, because that's one of those things like you only get to do it once.
Yeah, that's Adeptus.
Adeptus, and I really enjoy those. So I definitely want to get into that.
Yeah. All right. So those are some things. A quick rundown of us of what we've got going on within Bulletn. Or the trainers have going on within Bulletn over the next month and a half to the end of the year. You should check them out.
Yep.
You should check out all the things that they have. They're all really great people. I'm very honored to see them posting classes with us. So, yep. All right. We got that out of the way.
Nice.
And what should we talk about?
I think we should talk about our training tip for the day.
The training tip?
Yeah, training tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
Or the whole thing, depending what she says.
Well, you know how we go. We always shoot to have just a quick training tip where we do just the tip.
Rolls.
And we wind up talking for like 30 minutes on a training tip.
We're balls deep.
Yep. Way in there.
Yep.
But, why don't we just get into it?
Okay. So tonight we're talking about battery management and storage.
Super exciting
stuff.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that more and more, every gun that we have, every gun that we carry, more and more needs different batteries. Everything takes batteries, all your accessories. And if you are not on top of that, you can have a really, really bad time in class, or God forbid, have a really bad time when it really matters.
Well, the really matters part is probably the more important thing. But, I'm totally a battery mooch at classes. Like I can't even tell you how many times I've been in a class where I'm like, fuck. Anybody got a AAA for my stupid Peltors that don't have, like, first off, Comtacs are awesome. However, fuck Peltor for changing the battery in the Comtac 6s to AAAs. Why? Like, do you know how much smaller a AAA is versus a AA?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm angry about this because it meant that I had to start carrying AAAs around. They're awesome, by the way. Like, I actually do enjoy Peltor. Please don't hate me.
Sponsor us.
Please,
I need a pair.
I could sell some Peltors. If you please, like, if anybody from Peltor is listening, and I would love to test out all the new stuff because they're on like Comtac 12 now or some shit like that. I think they're
pretty soon they're just going to read your mind about what you're going to say, and they're just going to broadcast it.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. It's going to be mind control,
or at least as much as they cost is what they should do.
They are expensive. They're hard. I mean, they're really expensive.
Anyway.
But so somewhere in between, I think Comtac 5 or 6 or something like that, they switched to putting AAA batteries into the ear cups, which I guess makes them infinitesimally less wide than they were before. Like it just makes the diameter of the battery just slightly less.
If I had to guess, it had more to do with they got more efficient with their energy use.
Maybe. I mean, I think, but there's nothing else that I have that runs off of AAAs. Not a single thing. That, and I had battery carriers like this thing that Max has here. This is the Nod Pod. I have one of those. You know what my Nod Pod didn't carry? AAAs. It's like, oh, God damn it. But anyway, I don't know why I got onto the topic of AAAs. But yeah, like I mooch off of whoever's out of class. You know, especially when the Ear Pro dies. Yeah. That's the number one thing that usually goes.
So for me, I have done the opposite.
You're the battery supplier.
I am a supplier, sir.
He's the battery enabler.
When you have your need, you come see me, and I have batteries. Battery whore. I am.
Wow, look at that. What is that thing that you're holding?
What is that thing? What I'm holding is it's a very rare gem. This is the Combat Art Training battery book that he doesn't make anymore.
That's the block one.
That is the block one.
The mod one.
The one that has the sewn in elastic keepers instead of Velcro that I have to then Velcro shit to. So I have batteries. I have all my charging. This is my travel thing. So I take this with me whenever I travel. So I had. Oh, look, I was wrong.
Oh, you got your little battery.
So I take this with me whenever I travel. So I have everything I should need for all the electronics that I have. The only thing that doesn't fit in here is my charger for my phone because I have one of those magnetic stand-up things because it makes a great alarm clock-based thing. But otherwise, everything is in here for my phone, for my other electronics.
Do you have an alternate phone charger in there?
I do.
Well, there you go.
And I even have the magnetic battery banks that just stick right on the phone.
Oh, those are cool.
So anything I could think I could possibly need, including a charger for the rechargeable batteries.
Yep. Yeah, that's important. I have one of those too.
So yeah.
And so that's a Combat Art Training battery book.
That you can't get.
You can't buy it.
So you might like it, and it is pretty, but you can't have it.
I mean, I think the coolest thing about it is the pattern that it's in.
Yes, Desert Night camo.
Yeah, they can't see it though because you're not holding it correctly.
Oh yeah, I'm not. You're right. So this is Desert Night camo.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was going to look like. It was a choice at the time. I said, "What is that?" He said, "I don't know. I have some." I was like, "Okay, we'll throw it on there, see what happens."
It's sexy, but
and a Nod Pod.
Yeah, what do you have hanging on the side there?
This is the Nod Pod. So this was something that Gary mentioned during the bug out bag primer thing that we did last year. And I thought that's kind of a neat idea. So I haven't filled it, but I have it on here. And that way, if I wanted to take some batteries with me outside of this, I can throw it in this. And this fits very well in the back pocket.
It does.
I know it's not what it's designed for.
No,
but like literally, like it's got a curve to it. If you can see that.
They can see it. Sure.
So like this in the back pocket, it just.
Yeah, I think it works well there. I have a Nod Pod as well. They have like several different like versions that they've created. I forget which version I have, but it's great for doing night vision stuff.
Right.
So I have a Nod Pod that I have. So I actually, what I did was I went out and got lead sheeting, like the flexible lead sheet stuff.
Yeah.
And I wrapped my Nod Pod in lead sheets.
More of a counterweight for your.
Yeah, and then also took like the camo horse wrap stuff, the sport wrap, like the stuff that you wrap around your ankle or whatever.
Yep.
I call it horse tape because I think it's the stuff they wrap
Cobain
around
stuff.
Yeah. You just wrap it around and it self sticks.
Yep.
And then I wrap that around the outside so it's not like exposed lead.
What
and
could
so
go
it's-
wrong with that?
Yeah. Well, it's just so it doesn't like peel away or get
So
caught
if you
on
don't
shit.
like someone in class, you just slowly peel off pieces and drop it into the water bottle.
So I have, and that has CR 123s and it has double A's and yeah, it's CR 123s and double A's, which are mostly the things that I have at night. So it carries stuff for flashlights and it carries stuff for nods.
Right.
So enough
sense.
to make you able to see things at night. Wrapped it in lead, made it heavier so that I could use it as a counterbalance on the back of my helmet or my 4D
Right.
operator hat. What is it called? Man, I really should know. That thing's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think if for people who don't know, you want a counterweight for your helmet because of the weight of the nods on the front.
It helps so much.
It helps with your neck and everything, and it makes it way more pleasant to have to wear a helmet with the nods on it.
It's going to bother me because of the 4D
Watch cap.
tactical SOF.
There you go.
The soft cap. It is the tits.
If you're not going to have a hard helmet, you really can't beat it.
Yeah. So
It's better than that strappy thing that Cry makes.
yeah. Oh, the nightcap.
Yeah.
The nightcaps. That's actually like the best value that Cry makes. Like everything else that is like buy once, Cry once.
A lot
of everything they make. The $65 Cry nightcap is a very good value. However, it's about as comfortable as any other skull crusher that you'll have for night vision, in my opinion. Like it's slightly better than the ones that come with the night vision, but like if you want something that you want to wear like all night long, man, the soft cap is just tits. So that's the best. I mean, they're expensive too, so it's kind of like it falls into the same category as like a
Well, they were under 200, right?
I don't know what the current price is, but the like for me, it falls into the category of should I go with a soft cap to run night vision on or a bump helmet? A lot of people go bump helmet. I find zero value in bump helmets. Like if you're going to have a helmet, it should be ballistic. Like that's the trade-off to having a helmet is the bulkiness. So if you're going to be bulky, you might as well have protection because it's not like a bump helmet does anything more than a ballistic helmet does.
And there's not that much of a weight difference either, is there?
It can be the weight difference can be kind of significant, but if you're going to go helmet, I would just go like ballistic. But if you're considering that kind of bump helmet area, I would go with the soft cap every time because like it is so much more comfortable and your head breathes in it and you don't have to worry about it being a helmet. It's way less bulky. You could shove it in like a cargo pocket. But anyway, I digress. So I take my Nod Pod and I put it on the back of my helmet. But as far as my battery management goes, I also have a combat art training.
You do indeed.
Battery book. This is the current model battery book. I even have some name tape on there that I made custom just because I got this awesome book in. What is this? Multicam Alpine?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wanted it high vis so that it's easy to find when the lights are out.
We should have gotten orange then.
Well, no. Well, Andrew gave us two choices, and
What was the other choice?
So Andrew showed up, and he had a multicam Alpine and a 3-color desert. And I scooped up the multicam Alpine.
Yes, I believe you were just faster than Gary.
Than Gary, yeah. They were either one. Like we both had a choice. So I think I chose wisely. I said yoink. And I took
three-color desert just doesn't do it for me.
some people it does.
I know they're wrong.
Yeah, I'm a fan of. I like this alpine look. Anyway, so on the inside, look at that. I have something that's very akin to what Max does.
Yep.
I have everything organized, except mine didn't come with little organizers on the inside, so I just took
One wrap.
What are these things called? They're like little battery organizers.
Yeah, there's a name for them. I can never remember. SOE sells them too.
They're on Amazon.
Yep.
It's like a little battery like holster, like a little battery magazine type thing. And I have one of them for basically everything that I have. I have two AA holders and two CR123s because I go through those the most. And
even a AAA now.
And I have a AAA in there because I have to.
Why the 9 volts?
Just because there's some things that I have that use 9 volts.
Okay.
Like, and it's always the one where I'm like, fuck, I should have had a 9 volt. Like to me, this is more of a general battery book than just for training, but it's a lot for training. So I have some AA's in here, and all I did was took, there's nothing special about these. I just took one wrap, Velcro one wrap, and then wrapped it as tight as I could around it.
It is way better than gluing it to it.
Oh yeah, I tried gluing originally and they would just fall off. So,
exactly.
So I just wrapped one wrap around and it works fine. And then I can put that within the battery book, and it stays. Look, like everything in here is one wrapped and it all stays right in the battery book. It's pretty awesome. So I got AA's. I've got 9 volts. I think I have one thing that runs a 9 volt, and it's in my house. So is it necessary? No, but sometimes you just never know. Like, why not throw a 9 volt in here? I have CR123s. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that I probably go through the most because they're on every freaking flashlight that are on every gun.
And they're good. They're also a good backup because even flashlights that take the bigger 18650s, if all you've got is CR123s, you can double them up, and you won't get as much performance, but at least you have a flashlight that works.
Yeah, I had to start carrying these 18650s. I think they're called. Yeah, the big old rechargeable ones because
of the lightsaber that you
because
use?
of my lightsaber, my Z-Bolt LEP.
Yep.
So I have these, and they run better and longer on the 18650s, but you got to have it's just another battery to start carrying around. So I have that, as well as on the other side I have the charger for the 18650s because why have the batteries if you're not going to be able to charge them?
Yep.
And then another thing of note in here, I went on Etsy. Oh no. That's
why the one wrap works better is what just happened.
The Velcro came off the sticky Velcro. Unglued. But I have this custom. It's a 3D printed battery holder. Yeah. So in here I have and look, they even print what's in there on there. CR 1/3 ends and CR 2032s, and then I think I have the little tiny.
Yeah, the 1/3
watch batteries that
go in
ends
are the ones that you can never find anywhere.
Yeah. So I have a few things that carry the my MRO uses the big, or like the aim points use the big batteries, the little hollow suns, the pistol optics use the smaller, I forget what these ones are called.
Yep.
And then I have a Steiner Tor Mini that uses these 1/3 ends.
Yep.
That
you can't find, if you don't have them with you, you're screwed.
Yeah, they're just so specialized. I gotta have some of them somewhere. So that holds all those guys in there. I have a giant old battery bank in here that I don't even know, some Chinese company, whatever. But it's like 2,000 or 20,000 amp hours or something. I don't know. Yep. It's a lot. It's a huge, big honking battery. And then I have some adapters in here. This is just a car charger, right? Like a DC-12 cigarette lighter adapter type thing, which I think is super useful to have around. I have a universal battery, not battery, like a USB charger. I think it's like a super high wattage one.
Well, what's nice about these anchors is they call them smart chargers.
Yeah.
So the idea is that when your batteries are full, they stop pumping wattage into them.
It's 100 watt.
Yeah, which can keep your shit from overheating and lighting on fire.
So I have that because like I can also run my laptops off of it and stuff. So and then there's pockets behind here. They have all different types of cables and stuff and all USB things. Also, one other battery that I have in here is a battery for my radio. My primary radio right now is a Aliens HD2, so I keep a charged extra battery in the battery book.
Yep.
So.
And so if you're going to do batteries and you're going to invest in them, rechargeables aren't a bad idea. Also, especially for like AA's, AAA's, and CR123s, go lithium, not alkaline. They cost a little more, but they won't do bad things to your electronics.
Oh, well, yeah. On that point,
yeah,
don't buy alkaline.
No,
like I'll say it a bit stronger than you do. Like
fuck alkaline.
Well, it's just if you have if you're gonna put batteries in things that cost more than $20,
yep,
put a battery in it that costs $5 or no $2 instead of 50 cents or something like that. Like the peace of mind of not having that battery explode.
Yes.
Like if you're gonna put a battery in a set of $1,500 night vision, you can afford a $1.50 battery. Yep. Like it. First off, they don't explode and they last way longer and they're lighter. Like there's like get lithium batteries.
And if you're going to buy for any accessories, I recommend Anchor across the board. Like there's a million different brands on Chinesian brands on Amazon, and they probably make those in China too. But they seem to be higher quality, and at least you have some basis of knowing what the hell you're buying. I
mean I haven't gone wrong with Anchor on anything. Nope. Although I try to buy brands that are like my 18650s or Z-bolts. He makes or he resells, maybe repackages 18650 batteries. So those guys know their shit when it comes to electronic stuff. So I'm gonna buy their batteries. But yeah, so the idea is don't get caught unprepared for batteries. Like you're gonna need them. And like the reason this is a training tip is because, like I said, like if you go to classes enough, you use your shit like you should be doing. Like you should go out and use it.
Yeah.
You're gonna run into situations where you run out of batteries. Like, and a lot of the shit nowadays runs on batteries.
And you could be that guy that could help your buddy who was unprepared.
Like me.
And give him the things he needs, whether it's, it could be magazines, but in this case, it's batteries. Yeah. So it's really simple, guys. Just have some extra batteries. Like figure out what your shit needs. Every 6 months, you should be changing the batteries and anything that's life-saving equipment. That includes your weapons, your lights, your flashlights on your bodies, your smoke detectors, all those things. So do yourself the favor of being up on those things. That way, when you really need them, they work.
Yeah, and just to illustrate a point, even things like your fighting stuff, it needs batteries. Yeah. You're gonna use them and you're gonna run out. Like the law of Murphy's Law. Is it Murphy's Law?
Yes.
Hicks
Murphy's Law.
Bernoulli's principle.
Murphy's Law.
Yes. Says that they will stop working.
Yes.
Like when you need them the most.
Yes.
Now, can you do a hot swap in the middle of a gunfight? No. But if you keep some batteries around that you might need, like some CR123s, or what run?
That's going to be a 2032.
No, that's going to be like a 2032 on here, probably. Yeah, it's got the battery tray on there, and the tools to be able to undo the little Phillips head screwdrivers and stuff. Keep those around too. Like you will always be thankful of having those extra batteries around just to, stay in the fight.
Yeah. So there's your training tip, guys.
Batteries.
Have them.
All right. Now that we've talked about batteries for 20 minutes.
In the future, you will have a 20-minute discussion on batteries.
So interesting, I'm sure, for all of you.
I'm sure all the women are like writing shit down.
You know what? I implore all of you, please make a comment about what batteries you use, because I always forget certain types of batteries. If there's some that you're like, I always keep one of these around, or this is what I do, share it with us. Make a comment.
Any comment.
Yeah. On the Bulletin community here, wherever, make a comment. So
tell us how we're being gay with what we're doing.
Yeah,
tell us how we're wrong.
How we're idiots. Okay. So we've gotten through our training tip for this evening.
Yes.
what's next? Do we go into the stories now?
I say we should go into our stories.
You know how we roll. We like to
Yeah.
talk about current topics and news.
Yes.
And it's been, there's nothing really been going on lately, right?
No. I mean, really nothing in the news or on every video or on every commercial.
I mean, nothing,
For everything, no matter where you turn, you can't get away from it. It's like a giant hammer smashing you in the face over and over and over and over. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a major event happened on the 6th, right?
What happened on the 6th?
I don't know what happened on
November
the 6th.
6th?
Yeah.
Well,
It technically happened on the 6th. I mean, what led up to it happened
yeah.
on the 5th, but it happened on the 6th.
yeah, well,
So I would say
We
you should. I say you should go into that story, sir.
we did elect a new president.
Did we? Is he a new president?
Well, he's new to, I guess,
Or is
not,
he?
not new.
What's the line from?
There's
the Who
nothing
song?
about that guy that's new. He's
New boss, same old boss.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure unless you've been living under a rock, this is the probably the most well-known story we will ever report
Yes.
on the Bulletin Network or the Berm podcast, and that is Donald J. Trump has been elected president again. I'm not surprised.
No. Well, okay.
I can't even say that I'm hugely disappointed. There are so many people, over the last week that I have seen lamenting, emotionally, outbursting over the demolishment of the country and how the world is going to be set ablaze and how it's not worth living anymore. And I'm just sitting here going, that's hilarious.
The Canadian borders, that way. Feel free.
Yeah, it's so silly.
It's okay. If you want to leave, they might let you.
I don't even think there's many people in our circles that are as critical as Trump are. We're pretty I don't really afford him much leeway.
No.
But at the end of the day,
We had two choices.
yeah.
Not that we should have two choices, but we had two choices.
Yeah, and I'm honestly not super upset at the way things I'm certainly not wringing my hands.
This is where I'm at with it. Am I surprised by the outcome of the elections in general? No.
No, not in the slightest.
Am I surprised that that is what happened as a result of the elections? A little bit.
What do you mean?
Well, I firmly expected there to be weird shit. There was a lot of weird shit leading up to it. But I think there was a lot of groups that were on top of people that were trying to mess around with the mail-in ballots and all the things.
Oh, there's always controversy.
You know
and
what I mean?
Stuff,
But the reality is that the Democratic Party did a wonderful job of pissing off a lot of people, doing whatever they wanted to do, and kind of flaunting it.
Yes.
I can't imagine why people were frustrated.
You know what? I know we're kind of getting off topic onto the things that we wanted to chat about already, but if I can make one piece of it or give one piece of advice to an open piece of advice to the Democratic Party, maybe just talk about things that you're good at, things that are positive instead of just talking about how everyone else is wrong. I think that would probably go a long way. It's something I noticed with the latest, the Republican trend lately.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be the ones that are everyone else is evil and wrong.
Yes.
And they took more of the, no, this guy's right. And hey, rah, rah, we're going to like I said, I'm not a huge Trump guy, but
I'm not a huge
they had a clear,
yes,
rallying cry of, hey, we're gonna to use the term, we're gonna make America great again, as cheesy as that sounds. It sound I know there was probably slogans and stuff on the Democrat side, but it felt way more like everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to burn everything down. It was all negative towards people who weren't thinking their way. So anyway,
I firmly believe that the only reason why Donald Trump even stayed highlighted in the eyes of the American public is because of them keeping him highlighted in the eyes of
the reason he got elected the
Yes.
first time is because they wouldn't keep him
shut
off the
fuck
television. But it just goes to show that like everyone thought it was going to be closer. Or I think everyone was kind of worried coming up to the elections, like, oh my God, it's going to be a nail biter. And it certainly wasn't a nail biter. Like it was clear at 2 or 3 a.m. or whatever, like, oh no, Trump won, like 100%. Yep. And the interesting thing about it is how much it swung for him.
Across the board, not just him, but just in general.
So I thought it was interesting. Like there's the quote unquote swing states, which we happen to live in. And trust me, if you are not in one of those states, it was, the political climate wasn't that bad, but the media,
oh my God,
was just overbearing.
Yes.
Like every other thing on television was a political ad. Thankfully, they stopped in the last year or so. Text message, YouTube, 4 or 5 text messages a day.
Yeah, YouTube, phone calls. Like Jesus Christ!
I once had, and this was just one day. I had 8 printed mailers sent to me in one day of political stuff. And that was every day. Like the amount of stuff being thrown out and wasted was amazing. But so we're in Pennsylvania, but there's the other swing states, right? Like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, with also Pennsylvania in the mix.
I bet you Georgia had it even worse just because of the controversy from last year.
Maybe.
I bet.
But
I bet money.
The interesting thing is that of those states, all but one voted blue in 2020 for Biden. Like they all swung for Biden,
right?
Except for North Carolina. And this year, every single one of them, by a very clear majority, went Trump, like red through and through, like just. And that echoed in a lot of other things, like and not just the electoral stuff, like, oh well, the electoral college going for Trump, like he won the popular vote, like which is always the controversy, right? Of like Republicans tend to if they win, sometimes they're the ones more likely to win by a small margin in the electoral college, but not in the popular just because the way that the electoral college and it gives a little bit more weight to land area, right? Because like we split up populations, which is meant to be that way, by the way.
Yes, because otherwise it's urban centers would run government across the board.
But anyway, either way, this year it's pretty clear. It's the popular vote went to Trump, electoral college went to Trump, and the quote unquote red wave washed over the Senate. The House is still out. I just checked it right now. It's at 212 seats. I think they need to get to 218 for the majority.
Okay.
So right now, like as of today, Friday, November 8th, there are 200 Democratic seats and 212 GOP seats in the U.S. House. And the GOP needs to get like 6 more. I believe it looks like, based on the map, that like most of those are leaning red.
Right.
So it's likely at this point that it's going to be a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and I mean, I don't know if you could really call Trump a Republican, but like a Republican in the White House. So it's red. The whole thing.
Did you see that they estimated that the Democrats lost 20 million voters this year?
Yeah, I saw a lot of like outcry
crazy
against like voters, like Democrats that just didn't go to the polls.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when they were showing the statistic, they went back to Obama's first run and they kind of ran it from there. And you can kind of see this general increase last year, a ridiculous increase in votes on both sides in 2020, but a huge increase for Democratic voters. And then back to that same standard kind of rise in numbers this year that has kind of been on track since Obama's first presidency. So like, they lost 20 million voters.
It's a lot. Like
that's an insane amount.
Honestly, I think it's a lot to do with strategy. And again, if I can give some advice to all the Democrats out there, the Democratic Party, I think a lot of the people who live in our world are very, we lean conservative.
Leave us alone.
Yeah. Like, stop telling everybody that they're wrong. Like, I swear, if the Democrats just took a party platform that was like, hey, they're going to drop the gun thing, because there's so many people that use that as a proxy for everything else. Yep. And quite frankly, I'm enough of an absolutist that, like, I need to know that is not something that a candidate can support. Like, you cannot take that stuff away. You cannot take away my right to self-defense or my right to keep the government in check. I'm sorry. Drop it from your fucking platform, man. Like, get rid of it from the Democratic side. Why is it even a thing? Like, you guys are killing yourselves with holding on to that and telling people that they're wrong, and they have to force acceptance of strange things. Those two things alone, if you can get rid of those two things, I think you would give serious contention to the American public.
I mean, here's an idea. So at one time, the Democrats were an anti-war party. Not anymore.
Oh yeah. Now they're war hawks.
At one time, they were anti-censorship. Not anymore. How about you go back to the values that old school liberals that now are considered Republicans had, of not trying to trample over the basic rights of your citizens. And maybe you might see a different response at the polls.
Maybe. I mean, I think they should really, it'd be great to see both parties race for the middle, honestly. And I know that's weird, but like, I want to see everyone being less extreme.
Yeah.
Like,
on both ends of it.
Because I honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like I find most of the people that we know to be pretty centrist with a lot of stuff, like pretty reasonable people. And it's so strange that the people in the middle feel like the ones left out most in the cold. Like, it's like neither one of the parties represents me, but there's one that tells me I'm wrong more.
Yep. So,
okay. I don't know. That's just my general thing on it.
But I don't disagree with you.
So some interesting things. This is, I wanted to talk a minute about what a Trump 2.0 brings to the country.
Well, everything's going to burn to the ground, right?
Well, of course.
I mean, that's what they said on Channel 6.
He's a fascist, right?
Right, exactly.
Things are going to burn.
Instead of brown shirts, it'll be orange shirts.
Yeah. Well, I bet you there's going to be a rise of Antifa again.
Oh, of course.
Oh, man. I can't wait to start seeing people running around in black outfits and masks again.
Hopefully it's during the daytime.
But this is so just today, I hadn't seen many stories about this, but in this, like, there was another attempt or assassination attempt against Trump.
When?
So, again, a very, very kind of breaking news type thing. And it wasn't like, oh, somebody shot at him type of thing, or a dude with a gun. So this is the craziest part. The FBI, they released some court documents today that show that the FBI thwarted an assassination attempt sanctioned by Iran. Like a state-sanctioned assassination attempt on Trump.
Sorry.
On Trump before the election.
Yeah, no.
No,
Sorry.
you don't think that's a thing?
No, I don't think Iran wants him dead.
Well, I don't know. This is what it says. So, like, so in the Associated Press today, that came out. So, like,
I mean, that was a rumor that there were like kill teams that were wandering the United States, a month ago, and that they were supported and sanctioned by Iran. Anyway, I have my own tinfoil hat about that, but
I'm just telling you, like, no. Like, it just goes to show that, like, it's not going to stop. Like, the attempts to kill Trump
are going to continue.
Of course. There were 2 assassination attempts in his presidential campaign. Yeah. This is going to get fucking hairy. But what else does a Trump 2.0 presidency bring? I was kind of digging into this. I listened to most of the Joe Rogan podcast that he did, which, by the way, is really interesting to hear Trump kind of have like an actual 3-hour conversation.
It was awesome.
I mean,
the first 20 minutes were rough.
Yeah, I mean, it's Trump. Like he's kind of an arrogant prick, but like listening to him talk, him being in a less structured environment where it's not like, oh, we need to have everything in 30 second sound bites. You almost go, oh, well, it kind of makes more sense in some of the things that he talks about, but then he's like super arrogant in everything that he talks about anyway. So it's an interesting listen. And some of the key takeaways I thought were really interesting of like some of the lessons he learned the first time around. Staff is like the number one that I was like, oh yeah, he's probably going to make some way different choices when it comes to like who he hires.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking it's going to go way different this time around.
I think it's definitely going to get up on its feet a lot faster for sure.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things he's considering is bringing in Robert F. Kennedy to like take on some sort of like healthcare administrative role in
Elon. He wants to bring Elon into it.
Well, who the hell knows what he's like? He's already the CEO of like and the richest guy in the world. Why would he want to get into public service?
Because he's an evil. He
just wants to get into public service so that he can figure out where his evil layer volcano.
I want to work for the evil layer.
Yeah,
I think I'd be okay with it.
Hey, you know what? He hasn't given me a reason to hate him yet, but you know, it's just the only thing I'm so skeptical. I can only imagine the only reason he's buddying up to Trump is to like secure his like legacy of being like the richest guy in the world. But hey, prove me wrong, Elon.
Yeah,
like please, I would welcome it. So I think that like the staffing choices are going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be more isolationist. This like, you know, like Trump's economic stuff is very isolationism, like tariffs, keep all the other countries out, America first. That's already happening with repercussions about threats of tariffs. Cost of goods are going up because people are buying in bulk now so that they can sustain their foreign trade stuff over time.
Well, I mean, he talked about a specific example. There was a Chinese car company that was going to build a massive, the world's largest, up till now largest automobile manufacturer in Mexico. And he said that basically he went to them and said, if you do this, we're going to charge you a 200% tariff on every vehicle that comes across the border. And suddenly they decided not to build this automobile manufacturing plant in Mexico.
Well, yeah.
Like they kept saying it was a Trump tax. That's what I kept on hearing in the news over and over again. And hearing him actually explain what it is he wants to do and how he wants to do it, it makes sense. But it does mean legitimately things are going to get more expensive. There's no way around it.
Some things will. I mean, who knows? Like economics are so complicated that like it's hard to wrap my head around. I just know some of the general trends of like, you know, he's obviously a big proponent of this kind of like America first isolationist strategy. So it's going to happen. We're going to see, and the president has a lot of leeway and power when it comes to foreign trade.
He has the House, he has the Senate.
But aside from those, like aside from legislative stuff, in his role, he has power to influence a lot of foreign trade stuff. He does. So, those are some of the things I think we're definitely going to see. And the one thing I wanted to end on is, you know what else we'll probably see a bunch of? Some great judicial picks.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
I mean, if we could, some more Supreme Court, like let's keep this thing rolling of like, you know, that's the lasting legacy of Trump's first at bat was the Supreme Court picks. He got exceptionally lucky with like 3 Supreme Court justices. Who knows if in the next 4 years there might be some more, or if any of them retire and he can secure their seats with more Republican picks. But it's, you know, it only bodes well for the next 4 years that we'll have some good like freedom centric, you know, stuff.
And I just listened to listened to Vance's podcast with Rogan, and I really didn't know much about him. I knew that he was a very conservative minded, and I was very kind of critical in my mind, like, why would you do that? But man, after listening to that guy talk, I gotta say I like him. Yeah.
I haven't listened to anything from
you should
from
listen
Vance
to that.
Yet. I will. Yeah, I really should. You know, it's just you start tuning everything out. By the time the VP picks started coming in, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to listen to any of this shit anymore. But I guess
he was very interesting.
Yeah,
to
I
listen
guess
to.
now that he's going to get sworn in, or is going to be the vice president,
or
I'll
the
listen.
president, depending on if they get lucky or not.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
But anyway, guys, exciting stuff or not, or this is the important part. The pimple's been popped. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to. We don't have this impending doom. Like we just know the doom is here. No, no, it's not that bad.
It's
like
not.
I mean,
well, Chicago is
everyone's
interesting.
everyone's
night,
like,
apparently,
just try to not like base your life around like the choice of president. Like there's so many other levels of government that you should worry about that have more impact on your daily life. So I don't know. So
worry about the things that immediately affect you and your family.
All right.
Anyway, so on to more like delightfully positive news.
Yeah, what's going on in Middle Earth there, Max?
So New Zealand gave us a very real example of why it is important that we limit the government's ability to affect our rights.
Yes.
Because in case you don't understand, the Bill of Rights does not guarantee you anything. It tells the government to fuck off.
It does. Yeah. It's like the Constitution limits the powers of government. And the Bill of Rights just enumerates, like, it recognizes that you have the right and that the government can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 62 New Zealand gun owners had their firearm licenses revoked, not for anything they'd said or did, but for what they allegedly believed.
Wow, we're getting into some pre-crime here, I guess, or some.
None of these people were charged with a crime. The government officials accused them of being under the influence of sovereign citizen ideologies.
Wow. Okay.
These type of anti-government beliefs apparently violate the fit and proper person clause as defined by New Zealand law. This is a requirement for anyone who applies for or possesses a firearms license. So if you think that, where you live doesn't afford you freedoms, travel.
Wow, it sounds like gun laws written by New Jersey. Like if New Jersey controlled the entirety of the United States or the entirety of a country, that's how shit would go.
Almost like the revolution never happened there, and they developed under the British rule because it's exactly kind of what happened. So the New Zealanders who allegedly harbored anti-government views were discovered through a national intelligence operation known as Operation Belfast, which targeted ordinary citizens and was orchestrated by the New Zealand police.
So they named a operation after a foreign city that is known for standing up against government.
The British government in particular.
The British government.
Yes.
Cool.
So again, this is an example of why it is so important that we fight for what rights that we have, that we've been given, and that we make the government recognize the fact that we have those rights and fuck them, stay off our rights, stop trampling them. Because
I always
ultimately
what?
Ultimately, this is what can happen.
Yeah, I always wanted to see like Hobbiton or like the Shire or middle, like, the spots of Middle Earth, because New Zealand is beautiful.
I still want to.
Why is it that politicians have to fuck up the most beautiful places? Like California, from what I hear, is
gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I've been there. It's gorgeous.
I always wanted to go visit Yosemite, but I won't, because I don't ever want to go to California.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, whether I want to or not, at some point, I'm going to have to go.
Okay, so let's break this thing down, because these guys, they weren't charged with anything.
No.
They've committed no crime, so I guess they don't have any due process in
this
New
case.
Zealand.
It does not seem so.
Their rights were removed, but I guess New Zealand doesn't necessarily recognize those as rights, even though they are inalienable. Like every human has the right to defense.
They basically or professed or were charged with having anti-government beliefs.
Well, I guess the question is, what's really being violated? Their first, they don't have amendment rights, but like, their freedom of speech or their freedom of self-defense.
Well,
because like
it sounds like they have a limited version of free speech, which is then...
Well, we have a limited version of free speech too.
But it is subjectively governed by New Zealand, and that then can affect their ability to possess a firearm.
Yeah, this is the shit that we, when you hear red flag laws and like, oh, well, is that really that bad? Yes. It could be that, like, when government has the power to interpret what it means for you to be a right and proper citizen, this is the shit that happens. Like, today it's the guns. Tomorrow it's your ability to own a car. The next day it's your ability to build on your own property. The day after that it's your right to have children. Like, it starts somewhere, and it starts with, oh, let's take away their ability to fight back every time.
Yep.
Like, that's how it works.
And it could even sound something as simple as, well, we don't want people to have belief or basically espouse that the government should be shut down or that it should be taken away. Or, I mean, it can sound as something as simple as that maybe you might have like, okay, well, I could kind of understand the logic behind that. But the reality is that this is always where it goes. This is always where it's going to wind up. It is people that are in control that want more control. The minute they get more control, they want more control.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, like the fact that they're so brazen that they're like, oh, well, they think this way, so they can't have guns. Like, they obviously have guns in New Zealand, although they had that giant confiscation thing.
Well, that was Australia.
No, I'm talking about Christchurch.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
They
did have that.
It was a huge thing after
right.
that. After that mosque got like just torn up by that asshole who killed a bunch of Muslims. It was a big thing in New Zealand.
You're right.
Because before that, I think they were kind of like the more like free cousin of Australia. Australia's always been kind of over the top with like following the British, like, oh, we're gonna restrict the rights of citizens, and then it was after that Christchurch thing that New Zealand, I think,
fell into line.
Yeah, fell heavy into the anti-gun stuff because it's so rural. Yeah, like it's essentially like, it from what I understand, it looks like Middle Earth. Like, if you ever watched the fucking Lord of the Rings, it's like
all the filming was done there.
Yeah, it's all of it. It's film. Like, it's beautiful. Like, there's mountains
a tour.
And it's like going to Montana or Wyoming or whatever.
And the neat thing about New Zealand, my grandmother traveled there extensively.
Oh yeah,
and she said it was the only place she'd ever been where the landscape was so drastically different in such a short period of time. Because there's so many different ecosystems that are at play there. So you literally can go from tropical paradise to snow-swept mountains in a very short distance. Yeah. So I mean, but again, this is the reason why the founders of this country had the wisdom to do what they did.
Yeah. And what's crazy is at the time there was a lot of debate on whether or not it was even necessary. Like, who could ever possibly think that the government would try to remove the rights of free speech and freedom of defense and freedom of, or protection against unlawful search and seizure and all the Bill of Rights. They were like, no, why would we ever need to write that down? That's crazy. And then thank God they did.
And 4 years later, they tried to install George Washington as the new king.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, as an example of like, here are these people that fought for liberty to be represented, and then they were ready to immediately anoint their current leader as their future king.
To be fair, everything I've read about George Washington, he would have been the best. Like, if there was somebody that they were going to install into that, he would have done it very well.
Yes,
like,
agreed.
He was so proper and like altruistic that there really never seemed to be anything that was I did an audiobook of Washington in the last year, and it was...
I read a biography.
Yeah, and he's a super interesting guy, a little bit arrogant, like very kind of conscious of what everyone else thought of him, But at the end of the day, he was a true leader in terms of like, if there was one person where they're like, hey, let's make this person king, he would have been the absolute right choice. He would have done amazing at it. The problem is not him.
Nope.
It's who comes next.
Yep.
And the fighting that comes with the
remember, power corrupts. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
Well,
no matter what.
We have a king.
Yes.
Like the U.S. presidency is essentially imbued with powers that a king would have. He has a lot more than like, other like the constitutional monarchies and across the rest of the globe. Like he has far more power from what I understand. I don't really understand all of it than say the prime minister or a president in other countries.
So here's a mind exercise. Since the rise of the East India Trading Company, has there been a country that has not been run by a corporation of some kind?
I guess we're getting into the conspiracy theory section of the Berm Limits podcast. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, sorry. For a conversation for another time.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's I can't speak intelligently about like I'm sure all of them have been run by a corporation of some kind. It's like it's influence, right?
Well,
like money is influence. So they all influence politicians.
But there was a time when aristocracy was in charge. There was a time when the families of the aristocracy basically ran things. And after the French Revolution happened, the East India Trading Company gained influence in Britain, and then therefore it gained influence across the globe. And since that point in time, corporations, whether through lobbyists or not, have basically forged. Anyway,
yeah, but you can make that argument for all of time. Like you can go back to Charlemagne and frickin' like the Holy Roman Empire and like the trades, the Medicis, in the Renaissance. Like I know we're getting fucking deep in here, guys.
We're going into in any case,
the money influences politics and government structure, and government structure has just changed over time from religion to empires to corporations, whatever. It's all the same. In
any case, so the important thing is
we're getting deep here, man.
This may get edited out, but the important thing is don't give away your liberties, don't give away your rights.
Yep,
fight for them.
Yeah, and
or don't.
And try to take solace in the fact that hey, you know what? Every now and then you'll have an administration, even though you may not agree with the figurehead of it or like who they are. That in the long run, some of the rights are being withheld, like upheld, that are important for you and your family and the generations that fall after you.
Anyway,
or follow after you.
There another story of hope and rainbows and
fuck
bunnies.
New Zealand. That's what I say.
Yes,
fucking Kiwis.
Yeah, just kill them all and take it over. Anyway,
annex it,
baby.
Annex New Zealand. All right, so those are our stories for tonight.
Yes,
and what should we do next?
We're going to have our discussion topic.
Yes.
Where are we going in January?
Well, I know I'm going to Las Vegas.
I'm planning on going to Las
Max
Vegas.
Is planning on going.
I was invited by this lovely man here to accompany him and be his rightish hand man. Max
always likes to be my right hand, if you know what I mean.
I mean, he only uses his left, so you know.
Yeah, so I'm planning on going, and hopefully you will be able to make it. I know we're registered. We're official media registrations at SHOT Show, and it's going to be a good time. Like you've never been before, right?
No, I have never been. I had a small taste of it when we went to the Great American Outdoor, like a very small.
Oh yeah, that's way
sliver.
Different. Like it's kind of similar, but not similar in any way, shape, or form. Like that's like comparing. Wow, what would be a good comparison? It's like comparing the like F1 race, like an F1 race, like to. Hey, we're gonna go to a destruction derby at the at the local fair. Yeah, like the local fair is the Great American Outdoor Show. An F1 race is SHOT Show, but it's a lot of there's a lot of things there, a lot of stimulus, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of cool people.
I mean, quite honestly, that's what I am looking forward to, is getting the opportunity to get face to face with people that I've only talked to through the internet, to catch up with some people that I've been wanting to train with that I haven't had a chance to meet yet. Like, I would love to get face to face with Buell, Curtis.
Have you never met Buell?
Nope. I've talked to him many times, but I've never met Buell.
Oh, yeah, Buell's cool. So last year, funny story. I was standing at a booth, or like walking through the show floor, and I think I was like looking at, I was passing, I think it might have been the Aguila. I don't know how to pronounce it.
The ammo
company. Yeah. They have a lot of gun bunnies at their booth. It's a nice like visual attraction throughout the week. And I think Taryn Butler was in the booth as I was walking by. So I stopped,
even more gun
and it was like more, just like there were pretty women all around. And I'm standing there going, oh, this is a spectacle. And I'm watching this booth, and I look over to like my right, and I just see this kind of like creepy ginger guy staring at me.
They're attracted to each other.
And I looked over and I looked back. I'm like, wow, that guy was kind of eyeing me down and kind of staring at me, but I didn't want to give him a lot of attention. And then I looked over again. I'm like, why does that guy look so familiar? I'm like, holy shit, it's Buell. So I was super excited to see him. It was one of those people that I know he lives in Las Vegas, but I had I wasn't expecting to see him. So it was one of those times when you're like, it takes a minute to register, because I haven't seen him in like 3 years or something like that. He's such a good dude. I love that guy. And he was like, hey, Mike, come on. You got to meet somebody. I'm like, well, I mean, I've just met people. This was like the last day of SHOT Show. I'm like, I'm exhausted of meeting people. And he pulls me over and he brings me to the Cabot Arms booth. And, I'm like, holy shit, Matt Dorito's here. And Matt's a former professional musician who's I met through the tactical response circles.
I got to have dinner with him once.
And he's like such an awesome dude. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I work at Cabot. I'm like, oh, well, I wish I could afford anything Cabot related like that. It's the most beautiful firearms I've ever seen.
That one that they made from meteor,
the meteorite one.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So then I wound up just hanging out at the Cabot booth with Buell and Matt for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like, oh, this is the best. Like, it was the best thing that could have happened. I loved, like, that's what I want to go to SHOT Show for, is to see my friends. So, like, that's why I go, for sure, 100%. But I guess the question is, or maybe what people don't know is, like, what is SHOT Show?
SHOT Show is the trade event for the gun industry. Like, it is the national trade event for the gun industry.
It is.
Conference.
It's not just the gun industry, though. It stands for the Shooting, Hunting, Outdoor Trade Show. Okay. So, there's a lot of gun stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just the gun industry. Like, it is an industry show. Like, right. It is firmly meant for people that work within the industry. It's people make deals and trades, and like affiliations are made, and like it's a networking event, right? 100%, and a dealership event, because like most of the people that go. The attendees are usually gun store owners and employees, buyers, wholesalers, stuff like that. Those are the people that are attendees at SHOT Show. Most of the exhibitors are gun companies, outdoor trade companies, like, equipment companies, everything that's related to the outdoor world, right. And shooting world, police world. They're at SHOT Show. So, like, that's the purpose of it, is for them to show their wares and for buyers to come and buy things, so that they could sell them at their locations.
But then they found the advantage of having media people come there and plaster their stuff all over social media. Yeah,
there certainly is a benefit to it for all involved. Like, A, it gets the word out about stuff. B, what's far more important to me, in terms of like what my mission is in going to SHOT Show, is really just showing the story of the culture, because let's face it, like there is a terrible like misconception about the culture of people that are involved with firearms and the outdoor world amongst the general public. Like
I would agree with that.
Most
100%.
people, like if you like hunting or if you like guns or if you have any type of affiliation with the outdoors, a lot of people, the vast majority of people that don't experience those things look at you as either Elmer Fudd or like some like gun nut who belongs in a militia. So to me, it's super important to show that there are people who are awesome, that care about other people, that truly are like altruistic and like just like out there to help others. Like that to me, I think is a far more important story to tell than
the newest gun
what the newest gun stuff is. But it's also fun to talk about this. That's the stuff that draws people in. And then I think the real meat of the story is like introducing people to like, you know, just awesome people out there in the gun industry that work in the gun industry. It has nothing to do necessarily with guns. It's just those are awesome people that are in it.
Yeah.
So that's the real purpose of SHOT Show is to promote the industry.
And I quite honestly, I think the networking side of it is one of the few things that makes it still a legitimate goal to go. I mean, like, I think without that, is it something that you would even be interested in going to do?
If I didn't have a professional endeavor with it, like if I wasn't trying to make connections with people who make things or other trainers, because a lot of trainers go to SHOT Show, I would definitely not go to SHOT Show.
Right.
Like it is not geared for like the average person.
Right.
It's just not. Like you can go see cool stuff, but if you don't have an objective of going to meet certain people or to like generate content or sales in some way, you would probably feel like you're a bit lacking, like for traveling all the way across the country. There are better shows that do that. Like,
well, that's why NRA is one of the
NRA show.
If you're a buyer or you're just there to get hands-on as just an everyday person that's not interested in doing those things, and you actually want to purchase something, then that's NRA.
Well, yeah, it's not even just about purchasing. It's like if you want to experience like what it's like to like, you know, have conversations that are geared towards you as a consumer. Right. You go to NRA. Right. Like that's much more about like, hey, becoming like, well, I'm not a fan of the NRA along with most of us nowadays. It's the only, well, I think there's a USCCA convention. I definitely want to go check that out this year. But the NRA show is really the biggest one that's centered around like, hey, come check out stuff and be a part of the community, like the culture itself, instead of it being the industry, you know? Because all the same players usually show up at NRA, and it's a shorter show, so there's a lot more stuff going on, like made for the people that are meant to be there. So a lot more of the communications are targeted at you as a consumer as to like what it means for you, instead of like, here's our sales prices and here's our wholesale pricing and here's our support, our trade support, or like our support for you as a buyer. Like that's a lot of the conversation, a lot of the material that you get, communications at SHOT Show. Yep. Is like business to business type stuff. Right. But that being said, there are some pretty freaking cool things that happen. Yeah. Do you know what they are?
Well, there's range day.
Range day is pretty cool. I mean, you know, you're around guns enough. Being at the range is, you know,
I think
it's
80% of it is, wow, look, there's another semi-auto handgun that is the new Glock killer.
It's almost so I've only been to SHOT Show twice, but it's funny at this point, I kind of go to range day and I kind of look at products at SHOT Show from like, what do I think? I actually find it more interesting to find the things that are absurd. Yeah. Like that either are out there to change my mind about something, maybe in a positive way, but normally it's me kind of going around looking like that's fucking stupid. Like that, why does that exist? And I know it exists because somebody out there is going to buy it, but like there's range day is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I can shoot guns whenever I want. Like, and I'm at the point where it's like one gun's the same thing as another gun. Like, but there's cool stuff that you get to see in person that hopefully, you know, that may change your mind on stuff or solidify your existing opinion. Like last year I got to, like the first year I was at SHOT Show, Holosun released their thermal night vision thing, rifle optic thing. I was like, oh, that looks cool as hell. And then the second year I went and at range day they had them and I was like, oh, this doesn't really work that great. I mean, maybe in different environments or at night. Range days during the day, by the way. So night vision isn't going to really help you much. But also on a cold day in the desert, do you know what doesn't have a lot of thermal differences? Everything. And it's not like you could just stick a person down at the end of the range and be like, oh, look, there's a hot thing down there.
You could.
So some things you're like, it's a little lackluster. You don't really get a sense. But and then there's some other things that you're like, you know, why on earth is there an AR-12, like an AR-15 that shoots 12 gauge shotguns? And oh, look, it doesn't really work. It doesn't work super well.
The first two rounds work.
It's kind of interesting.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Oh, and by the way, it may not be released. And even if it is released, we have no idea when. But it's great.
Or you run into a company that's like, hey, check out this 1911 that shoots SIG magazines like for 9mm. So it's like a 2011 and like, oh, it doesn't. It's like, Pacow. Oh, tap rack. Pacow. No, I guess it's not quite there yet, or the magazines.
Because there's a lot of that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
It's like you get to actually put the pedal to the metal, if you will, on some of the products.
Yep.
However, there's also a lot of cool things out there. Like I'll give a shout out to Bulletn. You know who Bulletn is? The eyewear company. BOLE or BOLLE. Those guys are exceptional. Like they make really good like eye care stuff or eyewear. They shooting glasses and range safety equipment type stuff, and they do like snowboard equipment and like you know, it's like an Oakley type thing, but not as like elitist or whatever. They're great. Like they handed out free eyewear last year, and I love them. Like they're in my range bag all the time. They're my set of clears, and then I can pop in different lenses and stuff. So like, it's often not the gun stuff, but the other stuff that is just so like you get exposed to cool people, because I made a connection with the rep for Bulletn, and you know, kind of kept up with that, but also like you get to experience maybe some different ear pro, some different brands, and like it's the stuff that isn't the guns itself that you're also
the periphery
like,
of it.
Yeah. Like, these are super important. And, you know, from my perspective of like, hey, I want to go to SHOT Show. I want to highlight the cool people in the industry, but a very, very closely related thing to that is also finding gems and useful information for students.
Like I definitely want to talk to the Z-Bolt guy, because
Steve,
every video I saw him in, he was just awesome.
He's a good dude. He's an engineer, like through and through. He loves to talk about like all the processes and things that have gone into what they're doing at Z-Bolt.
And I mean, if you can, their website,
or is it John?
Their website. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
Their website has improved over the last time I was on it. They definitely have had some work done to it, so it definitely is a little bit easier to navigate. Dude, for a while there, it was like, is this Temu or is this Z-Bolt?
No, it's John. Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to talking to that guy. I would really like to talk to him. There's a couple of different companies I would like to check out, like Spiritus, get hands on with some of their stuff, because their stuff is stupid expensive, and I would like to just get touchy hands-on with it. Oh,
it is a nice opportunity to finger fuck a lot of things.
Agilite's another one, because they have some interesting stuff. Another nylon company.
I'm really looking forward to seeing like people that I met last year that I had no idea that they existed. Like the biggest takeaway for me was 4D.
Oh God, yeah.
4D is like I left SHOT Show being like, wow, those guys they're the nicest people ever, and then got some of their stuff, and I'm like, this is the nicest stuff I've ever. Like there's an absolute reason why they make awesome stuff. But I would have not known. I would have never known about it if I hadn't just randomly walked by their booth. Yeah, it's great. It's a good time. And it's great for making connections, and then and reaffirming connections, people that you already know. That there's like one thing that I've heard over and over again from different people is like, I go here because this is the only time I see my friends.
That I'm going to see my friends. Mm-hmm. They're all here right now.
Yeah.
So like for me, like that more than anything else, like I don't. Is it neat to see the things and see the spectacle? Sure, fine. But if that's all it was, I wouldn't be going.
Honestly, there's one very specific thing that I would totally go just for at SHOT Show, and if I had to miss everything else, there's one thing I would go to. The last 2 years, I won't say where, I won't say when, but it's been the same place and the same time every year, and it's been a gathering of some trainers and friends and like guys from Tactical Response. Like all of us that have known each other, somehow magically we've been able to pull together for one night and go to dinner.
Right.
And that was by far the best part of my SHOT Show experience the last 2 years.
And especially last year, because there was some healing done last year, which is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like it's so great to see those people that you barely get to see, but like the idea of like, hey, we're a bunch of people from across the country all coming together, and we have that common that thing in common of we all train, we all are like-minded, and we all care about each other. And that was I will do everything that I can each year to make sure that happens. Like whatever I can do, I want to make that happen. So that's why I go to SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Because
quite honestly, if it wasn't for that, I would not be going.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the other stuff, okay, fine. But like, I'm so burnt out on the whole gear thing.
But I love gear.
I love gear, and I love
you love gear. Don't even act like you don't.
I love the engineering behind gear. But I am absolutely at a point where I am like purpose driven in finding like a specific reason. Even when I find myself with stuff that I can't find a reason for, I am finding myself more and more trying to like you're a retard. You're trying to fix something that you don't need fixed. Stop. So that's one of those things where that has definitely changed over the last few years. And I think it's because I've done more training. Like doing more training, it kind of it answers more of those questions better than anything else.
Yeah, it's almost like when you train enough, you realize that like, oh, it's me that solves the problems. Yeah. Although, I kind of teeter back and forth, honestly, like between the kind of absolutist mindset of mindset trumps all. Because at the end of the day, that is truly the most important thing. But it's really tough to win a gunfight without a gun. It's really tough to shoot really far at night without the right equipment to do so.
Agreed.
So it is a balance. It's not the entirety of the thing, and people put way too much emphasis on the gear, but there's some things that offer you clear advantages.
Yeah.
So like I think it's healthy to kind of have a balance in there, to not completely eschew all of the gear stuff. But if you're doing it, if you're assessing it and using it for the right reason to make yourself more capable, I'm on board.
Yep.
If you're doing it to look cool,
you're just stroking yourself.
Sometimes it's okay to look cool, I guess.
And it's okay
a little bit.
And a little bit of masturbation is okay.
Yeah, just a
Not
little
all the time.
Like 20 seconds worth is all I'll allow.
I'll leave that one alone. Yeah.
The other thing is SHOT Show is in Vegas every year. Have you ever been to Vegas?
I have never been to Vegas.
You've never been to Vegas?
I've flown over Vegas.
What's funny is I could probably say that I've experienced probably about as much as Vegas as you have, because both years I've gone with grumpy, crotchety old men.
Does that mean I have to be grunchy and crotchety so that?
Well, you can either give me the same experience again, or you could be my compatriot and go check out some things with me. Like I've always wanted
hookers and blow.
Let's do it. I want to check out
the Sphere.
I would love to go to the Sphere.
I would love to go to the Sphere.
You want to go to the Sphere?
I would love to go to the Sphere.
Oh.
When the fuck are we going to fit in time to go to the Sphere?
We're there for like 5 days. We'll go to the Sphere one night.
Okay.
We'll figure out something.
Because the Sphere would 100% be something I would like to experience.
Yes. So the first time we went, I was like, dude, let's go. Like the guys that I went with, I'm like, anybody want to go see like a show? Because I like entertainment, right? And
Barbara Streisand.
Nobody wanted to
Celine
do
Dion.
any. They're like, fuck no. Spending money? No, we're never gonna do that. I also wanted to like the Sphere is legitimately like it looks cool as hell. By the way,
You can't avoid it because as you fly in,
it's
looking at
so
you.
ostentatious. I want to go to. God, I always forget the name of this street. It's like the old section of Vegas. With the
roof.
With the roof.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? God damn it.
I don't know what it's called though, but I know exactly what you're talking about because they do projections up on it.
Fremont.
Okay.
I think it's called Fremont Street. But I wouldn't know because I've never been there. Like I've had it on my list of things I want to just go. Like I want to go around and take some pictures. Like just experience Las Vegas. I can't eat there anymore for free, which is also like kind of a good thing. But like there's a place in Vegas called Heart Attack Grill. You ever hear of it?
No.
Okay. So there's
Is there bacon involved?
I think you can get bacon. However, if you're over a certain weight, you get to eat for free.
You could fake it.
They weigh you.
Oh. So what you need to get is more of the lead wrap.
But I can't eat much anyway because I can only eat like a tiny.
You could eat that little bit for free.
So they have the Heart Attack Grill is like it's completely turns the whole idea of health on its head and like they make fun of healthiness. So like they encourage like overweight, obesity,
Gluttony.
and they like if you're over 400 pounds or something like that, or I forget what the weight is now, but like you get a free hamburger, like free. They call them bypasses, like a single bypass, a double bypass, like the single double burgers and stuff like that. And they got like hot nurse like waitresses and stuff. Yeah, I've always wanted to go check the place out. I hear the burgers are actually not that great. And they make milkshakes with lard or something like that. Like they put fat into the milkshakes. Like
are you sure this isn't like a gateway to hell or something?
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm 100% sure it's
because everything you're
gateway to hell.
describing is like, oh, we have hot women that are going to look at you like they want you, even though they probably don't.
So like there's things in Vegas. I was like, oh man, I'd love the fountain at Bellagio. I've always wanted to see the fountain show. It's been too cold. Like the crazy part is why they make this in January. I'm sure it's cheapest in January to go have the giant trade show, but the weather's terrible. Like you can't enjoy being outside. Like it's cold and wet. Like the first time we went, it was wet. It's the fucking desert. Like, come on. I didn't realize there was a wet season.
Pennsylvania.
I know. But actually the last year we went, it was nicer. But
I have on my bag at all times a rain jacket. Mm-hmm. You throw a rain jacket over a hoodie.
Well, the problem is that you walk so much. Like get comfortable shoes. That's like if you're ever going to SHOT Show. Like I think I did 9 miles each day of walking. Yeah, like it's just
Solomon's and wool socks.
The wool socks do help.
Oh God, yes it did.
Oh, I got a new pair of Merrells last year before I went to SHOT Show. They saved my knees. Like they were like more like sneaker hiker, like trail sneaker type things, instead of just like hiker boots or whatever. Man, it's so much better when you have some cushion. But Vegas seems like a cool spot to just kind of check out and see some cool stuff, or like crazy. Like I've always wanted to eat different places in Vegas, but it's not worth it for me to go eat anywhere anymore because like I eat like.
Oh, we should find a good sushi spot.
Ooh, there is like a Nobu
because we could pack like a lot of flavor
into very small, yeah.
Or a tapas place because again, same thing.
Oh, there's lots of topless places.
No, not tapas, not topless, tapas.
What about? Is there a topless tapas place?
I have no doubt.
Somewhere in Vegas, I bet you there's a topless tapas place.
But tapas again is something where you have very small portions, so you get to enjoy the meal without having the meal.
There's a great Chicago deep dish pizza place we found last year that we can go to. You don't like deep dish pizza? Oh, you weirdo.
I'm a Neapolitan guy.
But yeah, so there's cool stuff.
The main thing it sounds like to me is that for us to be able to do all this, we should like write our shit down and figure our shit out.
Yeah, we should plan it. Hopefully we'll have people that want to like meet up and do things and like maybe get some videos and that's the hard, like that I need to start reaching out to people. Like, hey, you're gonna be at SHOT Show? You want to get together for a video, do an interview, or
like I want to meet. I know Nate and Trey will be there. I want to finally meet fucking Trey because I've talked to him a million times.
Trey Sprinkle?
Yes, I've never met him. I want to be able to. I want to get a chance to talk to that dude, get a video with that dude. I would love to meet Nate because every single time I've been in Camden, he's either been on his way out or on his way in. It's never been at the same time. Yeah. They're Lewis good. Sounds like he's going to be there, which would be sweet.
I think so. I think Elcar Concepts will be there. We're still working out SHOT Show. If you're going to be there, if you're in the Vegas area, you should definitely hit us up.
If you're a trainer on Bulletin and you're going to be there,
yes, we need to get together.
You should reach out.
Yeah, you should let me know and we should get together because I'd love to shake the hand and meet every single person that I can that's a trainer, and you guys make the magic happen. I'm just here to help. So I think it's gonna be a good time, and hopefully we'll make it happen and you won't bitch out.
Hopefully I won't be gay.
Yeah. What's the holdup? Is it it does cost some money to fly.
And it is a bad time of year for that.
Yeah. But anyway,
I just won't get my kids any gifts.
Yeah,
fuck them.
Yeah, their gift is that dad gets to go to SHOT Show.
Exactly. They should be happy that I'm happy.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way, but
it might. All right. Anything else you want to talk about on SHOT Show?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I am going to work towards making it happen. I think that it will.
You should all comment if you made it this far in here about how important it is that Max commit.
Yes.
And just go for it.
Yes.
Because I know you're going to regret not going.
I know.
But yeah. So if you're going to be there, let us know. Make a comment. If you've been before.
If you have suggestions. If you have a suggestion
on things
on like a spot that we have to check out.
Oh, the other thing is if you have suggestions on things that you want to see, things you've heard about or whatever, if you want someone to go to a booth and check something out, let me know. Hopefully Max will be there. You can let Max know. We'll get some videos and some more information for you. Or just get you the general skinny of like, hey, that thing looks like a piece of shit.
Or oh my God,
you need to get one of these as soon as it hits the market. So
yeah, for sure.
We're happy to do that. And we're always welcoming of people saying like, hey, like give us a little bit of a hint at what you want to see, and we'll make it happen.
We will definitely. I mean, if you're commenting on our video, you'll be a priority.
Yeah.
So if you want to feel special,
very
comment.
So
and watch.
Special.
Yes.
All right. So
awesome.
You got anything else?
I'm making videos again.
You are making videos.
I dropped one, and I have 4 more in the can. 1 more edited, 2 more to edit, and that will hopefully be happening on a more regular basis.
Oh,
so
good.
That's
You
good.
should definitely, and you should. If anybody's listening, you should go check out Max's channel, Max's Path, on YouTube's, and
swag.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button for him.
Yes,
he's trying to get up there to the monetized level, like 1,000 subscribers or something like that. It'd be nice to help us get Max there. But go check out his stuff.
I have new swag on my thing.
New swag. You can wear a giant logo that
just
says
like this.
Yeah, you can.
You can advertise for me.
I like that one better than the ones that say Max's Path.
Agreed. I have moved away from it.
Yeah. Because then you're kind of saying like, yeah, it's like somebody else's.
Well, ironically, I named that T-shirt the employee T-shirt.
Oh, the employee T-shirt. I got you.
I did name it the employee T-shirt.
But I like what you have there with
I like it better.
Like it's what we do. Training is
Yep.
what we do. So cool. Check out Max.
Stuff happening.
If you've made it this far into the video, like you should definitely go check out ironpigarmament.com.
Please do.
They are the reason why we are here. They have sponsored us. They have enabled us to bring our voices and our personalities to you, the listener.
You love our voices. You know you do.
Ooh, that's weird. Don't whisper like that.
And guys, remember, like, we're on Spotify. If you don't want to look at our faces, we understand.
It's true.
We are on Spotify. So in any of my videos, there are links to the Spotify the podcast on Spotify.
Yeah.
I make sure there's a link to it. And again, guys, like, check out Bulletn. It costs you nothing. It's only
sign up. Tell people about it.
Do the things.
Yep. Do all the things and all the stuffs. All right. Until next time, get smart, stay ready, find training.